Well, JB, thanks for taking the time to speak to us. Looking ahead to the FA Youth Cup game on Tuesday at 7K, how much are you and the boys looking forward to it?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting in terms of their experiences that they've had already. From a point of view of quite a few of them have already had the experience of playing in a stadium, so to do it in front of another crowd and having that experience behind them from the FA Youth Cup will be brilliant for all.
You touched on it there, but it's something that we've always done as a club in terms of the challenge matches and getting these boys playing in front of crowds at stadiums. FA Youth Cup always tends to have a lot of younger players involved, so there's not going to be too many, I imagine, in your squad Tuesday that haven't experienced this in some form, or at least have someone that they can turn to tell them what's going to be going on for them.
Yeah, there's probably about 3 or 4 that haven't experienced it with MK. There are a number that have experienced it at the back end of last season when we got through COVID and we were able to get fans back into the stadium. We were able to do it against Spurs, so they've had that experience. But to have that experience again and again, I think just sets them up for what it potentially comes from in their journey longer term if they manage to get into our first team.
And obviously the FA Youth Cup comes with its own pressures as well. It's not just playing in front of fans, it's a prestigious competition. First team are in it again on Saturday. It's a competition that runs throughout the country, and there's a lot of pressure on these boys because they're going into it as favourites, and it's a one-off game. They need to win at the end of the day. There's no draw.
Yeah, we've had experiences where it hasn't gone quite as to plan in previous years, but I think the boys are in a really good place in terms of momentum this year. Over the last couple of games, they've really started to bed down a few things around principles and philosophy and identity. So hopefully we can now put that on a stage where they're playing on an excellent surface, and that's where they need to be shown that they can actually perform as well. So yeah, it will be a very interesting, exciting game. All the boys have their preparation for this has been spot on so far, especially for the last 2 weeks with the games that they've been playing as well.
Super, and really it's an opportunity for them to impress not only the fans and yourself, but the first team management. I mean, we saw last year how it kind of kick-started Lewis Johnson's career, leading to him getting a professional contract. Obviously a lot of work in between that, but certainly the springboard to that was such a good performance in front of the manager at Stephen Kay. So it's a realistic opportunity for them to really catch the eye tomorrow.
Definitely. Liam and the rest of the staff have been excellent. They've been to watch a couple of games already this season. So the boys have already experienced that feel of having the first team management team there, and even Liam Sweeting has been around games as well. So having that little bit of added pressure on top of it, as well as what you already mentioned about the expectations of this cup and what they've got to come, I think there's a lot to think about, but there's only one thing that they really need to focus on, which is their performance on the evening.
And playing against a side in London Lions who obviously come into this game wanting to win just as much as you boys will. It's a big opportunity for them to come and test themselves against an academy like us and playing a game like this. So that's another pressure for the boys, isn't it, to deal with that kind of expectation where I imagine people looking at it probably expect us to come out on the winning side.
As well as us that have had these experiences throughout all the years that we've been in the FA Youth Cup. I think the big things are these clubs that are smaller and predominantly have like a grassroots background. These are massive opportunities for them as well. That experience, that sort of journey that they've had leading up to this with all the qualifying rounds, I think it's going to be a special night for them. In terms of, I don't think they know what they're going to expect fully, but I know that I'm sure they're very excited around what's to come for them on Tuesday evening when we get kicked off at 7:15.
So what's the team looking like then? I know there's a few injury problems that you've had to navigate your way through this season. So can you give us a bit of a make-up in terms of what the squad's going to look like tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a couple of the lads in who are second years. So this is pretty much their last opportunity this year to have their opportunity in the FA Youth Cup. They had a very good season last year through it in terms of their course that they took, which finished at Leeds. But we've got a number of first years in there, and then our bench is pretty much made up of 16s, which is excellent because that's the extra experience that they're going to have, so they'll potentially remember this for next year if they're still here and we're in this competition again the following season.
So it's a good mix, isn't it? You've got boys that, like you said, this is their last opportunity, so they want to do well and make sure it lasts as long as possible, and you've also got some boys that are coming with some youthful enthusiasm that probably don't understand the real importance of it just yet. They probably will when they get ready to walk out on Tuesday, but that must be quite good to have that mix, although obviously you'd want to have everyone available that you possibly could.
Yeah, it's another opportunity. It's another opportunity to develop. It's another opportunity to to show what they can do if they come off the bench. We talk a lot around starters, finishers and supporters, so whoever's on that bench, if they get on or if they don't, it's really important that they understand what their role and responsibilities are within the team. Yes, it's about their individual development, having that experience of being in these sorts of games, but they've also got to understand that it's a journey and there's learning behind it as well. Whatever part they play is going to be important for them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it in terms of what they expect from the game, how they perform, but also how they support as well. Coming off the bench, on the bench, being around the group. Some of them unfortunately won't be able to be in it because we're only allowed a squad of 18. So what we've made sure that we do is they get the experience as well, so they feel part of the squad and part of the night as well.
You mentioned the preparation in terms of lads going through their business well. Is it different to how you would treat a league game? Do you do anything a bit differently, or do you just try and keep it business as usual, so maybe don't pile on too much pressure?
I think the little differences is we're going to get them all together before the game to make sure that they've had a proper meal. So we're going to do a match prep session from that point of view. But it's no different. It's another game for us. We want to make sure that they understand that side, and we don't, like you've mentioned, we don't want to put too much pressure on them. Our big things are making sure that our identity is there. We play like MK Dons, and then our performances will match those two things as long as they're right.
Absolutely, and you mentioned play like MK Dons. That's what you're hoping, I suppose, the fans who are coming out tomorrow will see from these boys: attacking football, possession-based football, and hopefully a lot of entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. So we will be looking at trying to dominate the football. We'll be looking to progress through the thirds. We'll be looking to play on the front foot and have bright minds when we're in possession. Out of possession, we're going to be looking to be physical, and there is going to be a demand on them to make sure that we don't allow London Lions to have not an easy night, but have simple moments within the game where actually we can stay on the front foot like we would do in possession. We want to do exactly the same out of possession as well.
And finally, I'll just touch on there having fans back. Look, after the year that we all had last season, and obviously the FA Youth Cup journey that the kids went on last year, that weren't able to do it really in front of their friends and family too much. Just a fantastic occasion, isn't it? And some boys, for these boys, these opportunities don't come around a lot to play in a stadium in front of fans in the FA Youth Cup. Everyone should just hopefully enjoy it, make the most of it.
Definitely, I think it's been lovely. I've been to every home game this season. It's been great to have the fans back in, just like it was right at the back end of last season. And I hope Tuesday night we can see more of the fans coming along and supporting the young Dons. And hopefully that's the start of their FA Youth Cup journey as well.